Thank you all for being here tonight, and welcome to the Flip the Switch celebration for East Somerville Community School. My name is Christine Blais. I'm Director of the Mayor's Office of Sustainability and Environment, and today we're here to celebrate the newly installed solar PV array on top of East Somerville Community School. You can think of this as our version of a ribbon cutting ceremony. Somerville is a community that is dedicated to climate action, and as a municipal government, we take pride in leading by example. Increasing our renewable energy generation is an important part of Somerville's effort to decarbonize our electric supply. And both of these actions are priorities of Somerville Climate Forward, Somerville's Climate Action Plan. As a result of this project, the community will benefit from zero carbon electricity and long-term cost savings. As we kick off today's celebration, I want to thank today's speakers and organizers, not only for presenting this evening, but for their efforts in installing the solar array and getting Somerville closer to our net zero carbon negative goal set by Mayor Ballantyne. Now, please join me in welcoming our first speaker, Mayor Ballantyne.
So, hello everybody. Thank you for joining us today to celebrate this new solar array at the East Somerville Community School. I've had a great pleasure of participating in my fair share of ribbon cuttings, but I've never flipped a switch yet. So it's especially exciting to be here. I hope we can make it a regular occurrence. First, I'd like to thank Superintendent Skipper, Principal Morales, Counselor McLaughlin, School Committee Member Ackman, and the East community. Thank you for supporting this project and driving our collective commitment to sustainability and equitable climate preparedness. I also would like to acknowledge Matt Shortsleeve and our partners at Solect, who oversaw the development and installation of this array. Finally, thank you to our sustainability and environment staff and crews that installed this array for providing us with this new vital resource. This solar array is an essential piece of our ongoing work to meet our citywide carbon reduction goals. It's the largest array in the city to date, and half the energy this school needs to operate is now generated by these solar panels. Our climate goals are ambitious, and necessarily so, and every step we take, big and small, is a step forward. When we're grappling with such vast, complex challenges like climate change, with unprecedented work in front of us, it's important to find moments to take stock of our progress. We need drive, we need perseverance, but we also need hope to sustain this movement. This solar array is a tangible reminder of the advancements we're making. Events like this help us mark the milestones, inspire our path forward, and energize our city in more ways than one. So thank you again for joining me in this evening to celebrate, and thank you for your commitment to a more sustainable, resilient, and equitable Somerville.
Thank you so much, Mayor Ballantyne. Thank you for your leadership. Now I'd like to introduce our next speaker, Heather Takle, CEO of Power Options.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Mayor Ballantyne. Thank you, Somerville, for being a leader and truly leading by example. Most of you probably don't know who Power Options is, so I'll take a second to explain that. But we are a nonprofit energy consortium serving about 500 nonprofits and public entities across New England, to which Somerville is a member of Power Options. Since 2019, we've had a relationship. We also serve probably more than about 100 municipalities, cities and towns across Massachusetts. in the Commonwealth. And what I can tell you in those relationships, and it's very true of Somerville as well, is that the cities and towns across Massachusetts are leading the charge in a clean energy transition. And so we're just appreciative to be alongside of them. We've been working with cities and towns since 1998 in Massachusetts, and they've brought us and brought the Commonwealth to a clean energy transition that we need. But as a former Somerville resident, lived here for 10 years in this neighborhood, in our schools here, I can tell you that Somerville is at the tip of the spear of the cities and towns in Massachusetts. You guys, I won't date myself, but as a former member of the inaugural Climate Change and Energy Use Commission in Somerville, it goes way back that Somerville was leading this transition. And what's really important about this project, I will have to say, so many years later, not only was Somerville at the tip of the spear at that time leading the transition that we need, but now leading the tip of the spear of a just and equitable transition. It is very momentous that this large solar system, one of the largest now in Somerville, is here in East Somerville on the community school in this diverse community. We have a lot of work to do, and we'll get there in the next 30 years in this transition, but making sure that we do it in a just and equitable way, and making sure that everyone has access and all the communities have access to clean energy, not leaving any community behind is important. And this system is demonstrating Somerville's leadership and making sure that happens. So we are very appreciative to the city for leading that cause, a very important mission that we have in this transition, and we're just proud to be a part of it and doing what we can to support the city in that way. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Heather. Our next speaker is Matt Shortsleeve. He is a project manager at Solect.
Thank you very much. What a pleasure to be here and celebrate this with the City of Somerville and the public schools. We are really fortunate that we get to do this with some frequency because we're the solar provider to the Power Options program. And so I have been here since the beginning of this initiative, and I've had the pleasure to work with the different administrations and teams, not only in the corner office, but also in the sustainability office and the energy team. So throughout the process, the staff was thorough, communicative, engaged, and they brought it forward because, as you've both mentioned, committed to bringing good ideas, practical, and good solutions into the city. So we're really happy to be here to celebrate with East Somerville Community School. I'll share a couple points about the project I think will be useful. First of all, for the students and citizens, you have smart leaders working here in your schools and cities, so please keep coming out and supporting them. This solar project came into service in February. You mentioned that it's producing nearly half of the electricity needs here. There are about 400 solar panels up on this roof, on 3 big roofs, and it is enough electricity that's displacing 3,700 fewer tons of carbon than just what you were doing before you had the solar installed. So it's being consumed at the school 100% here, and it's all renewable. So you truly are doing a good job taking carbon out of your supply chain, and we like to be a part of that, so we're very grateful. We also want to thank the folks on site who worked so gracefully with us and allowed the installation to go smoothly, and that your cooperation is appreciated. So we appreciate coming here to celebrate with you, and Eric and your team look forward to continuing to work with you as you continue to make progress. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Matt. And our next speaker is Maria Lessard-Brandt. She is a Somerville High School student and the co-founder of the Somerville chapter of the Sunrise Movement.
Hi everyone, my name is Marie Lessard-Brandt. I'm a senior at Somerville High, and as mentioned, about 2 years ago I co-founded the local chapter of the National Sunrise Movement. It's called Sunrise Somerville Youth, with some other students at the high school. As a young person living in Somerville, it's a comfort to know that the municipal government values tackling issues that have potential to seriously impact the courses of our lives. And without the help of the generations currently in political office, the generation that is currently too young to vote today will end up facing a severe decline in quality of life as an effect of climate change. The students attending the East Somerville Community School have their lives almost entirely at the hands of politicians. Not having control over your path can be absolutely terrifying, and being at an age where society dictates that you have little influence over major decisions in the world makes you extremely vulnerable. And it's often difficult for high-level politicians to understand the effects that they have on the lives of young people, and the disconnect results in politicians making choices that ignore future generations. So luckily in Somerville, a progressive city, elected officials actually care about younger residents. If Somerville had people in office who were neglectful of the future generations, no one would have pushed for an increase in the production of renewable energy at the school, and we wouldn't have gathered here today. Without empathetic elected officials like we have in our city, today's children would be left to fend for themselves in the face of a climate disaster, but hopefully through the work of activists and policymakers, we will not reach that point. So for students, these solar panels are not only evidence of the city government taking action against climate change, but also that there are people and elected officials who are genuinely concerned for their future well-being. Oftentimes, the actions that the city takes are completely unknown to students, and students being kept out of the loop about city decisions perpetuates feelings of uncertainty and about the future and a lack of control over what's to come. And without understanding the solutions the city is pursuing, students have no way of knowing whether the municipal government is helping shape their future positively. Steps like this one, installing solar panels in a visible space, are completely different. Every student at this school is witnessing the government taking action, which we hope will facilitate a trusting and open relationship between students and those in power. Lots of cities want and need to take action, but few have actually done so. And creating an example in Somerville by working towards transitioning to renewable energy will encourage other cities to take similar steps. And of course, Somerville alone will not stop the climate crisis, but the contributions of many municipalities will be able to make a significant difference. Even within Somerville, taking this stride shows residents that the city government is committed to making change. Lastly, making our schools more green raises students' expectations for government. And starting to teach kids how and why to make our cities greener is a preliminary step to raising climate-conscious and proactive youth. So thank you for coming tonight, and I hope to see you around Somerville.
Thank you so much. Our last speaker is Obed Morales. He's the principal of East Somerville Community School.
Wow, I have a hard act to follow. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Mayor Ballantyne. Thank you, Heather from Power Options. Thank you, Matt from Select. And thank you, the citizens, and most importantly, the students of East Somerville Community School. I'm Obed Morales, proud principal of East Somerville Community School. When this project was introduced, I was excited for our students because I'm excited for the future of our students here being in a city, in a commonwealth where their climate will be saved. And you know, the options that you're presenting with this solar panels will allow them to do that. I also was well interested in how you managed this, Matt, because the project was, it did have some noise, it did create some noise, but it was seamless for our students and for our faculty. It went on for a few months, and business went on as usual inside in terms of teaching and learning, and that's important. I want to echo what Marie said, that this is important for our students and for our citizens, and that the citizens here, the students in the school in the city of Somerville, will benefit beyond. And what Heather mentioned about 30 years and that outlook and that vision will be well served. I was also interested to learn from Matt that the solar panels are producing enough energy now that the traditional grid of services is no longer going to be needed. And that's amazing. And that's, again, a commitment for the future of our citizens here at East. I don't want to delay it anymore. I want to know that this is an important event for us. I get to go on the roof often. I was telling Matt I go on the roof at least once a week because I retrieve, Matt has a tennis ball because he was on the roof before. I retrieve footballs and soccer balls for the students when they kick it up there, and I have it in the front office and they come and collect it. Frisbee sometimes and different things that the students throw on the roof, and I bring it down in the office. But and I get to see the actual physical part of it, I don't get to see the results of the energy, but it's amazing work. It's going to be here for a very long time. Thank you for the city, for the commitment, and all the partners. And thank you all for being here, and thank you for supporting our students.
Thank you so much. There was such amazing speeches, such wonderful words. And without further ado, I think we can move to take a photo op and flip the switch. If anybody from the audience wants to come and flip the switch with us, feel free to join us now. And if anybody's interested in learning more about our sustainability efforts at Somerville, feel free to stop by the table or talk to Erin, who organized today's event. And shout out to Erin for organizing today, and for all of you, thank you so much.